He had a lot of dolls. At one point, he said, women are biologically wired to want relationships if they sleep with a man, when all of a sudden, it just happened. It all came out. Oh no. Game's still confused. I know what's happening. Welcome back to Delp Deck Stories. Today we have some stories about hookups gone wrong. Let's get into it. Our first story is from Ben. It is answering the "What is the worst date you've ever been on?" question from the venting deck. When Grindr first launched, I was in my early 20s and had only been out for about a year. I lived in Boston at the time and tentatively signed up for it. Matching with guys was a huge confidence boost for me, and I started to go out on dates that were really just excuses to hook up. I was young and finally out of the closet, so it was pretty awesome. Hell yeah, good for you.
Hey, live your life, baby.
One day I was bored and swiping through the app. I came across this guy who was extremely hot. Like, he could have walked straight out of a magazine hot. We exchanged numbers, he sent me a few pics, and I was like, okay, I need to meet this guy now. We met up at a bar near his apartment and had a drink. I could barely speak, I was so into him and couldn't believe my luck. After a few more drinks, I could barely take it anymore and was like, so are you going to invite me back to your place? He grinned and was like, yeah, we can go back to my place. I quickly paid for our drinks and we walked back to his apartment. On the walk back, we could barely keep our hands off each other. I couldn't believe this was actually happening. He was easily the hottest guy I'd ever kissed. I remember thinking, there is no way this is my life. What's the catch? Well, I was about to find out very soon. So I'm kissing him against his door and then he opens it. I'm still kissing him, but then notice something weird out of the corner of my eye. He had a lot of dolls, like creepy old dolls everywhere. I was like, okay, I guess we all have hobbies.
Okay, hobbies.
I kind of laughed and was like, so you really like dolls? And his eyes widened and he said very seriously, yeah, I love them. This should have been a bigger red flag, but I was horny, so can you really blame me? We've all been there.
We've all been with the crazy, creepy Victorian dolls.
What would you do in this situation? Would you go through with it? You're a horny 20-year-old.
I'd probably at least step further in to see how much of a show this is.
Yeah.
But the hair on the back of my neck would already be kind of like standing up to be like, is he a serial killer?
Yeah, I think I unfortunately would keep going. Not proud of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, we were all 20 and horny at one point.
Let us know in the comments what you would have done. We go back to his room, which also had dolls in it. I started to think, maybe this is weird. Maybe.
Definitely.
But then he took off his shirt and I was like, never mind, it's fine.
Takes off the shirt and just has doll tattoos. And you know what? F it. I'm done. Whatever.
It's hot. Things started to heat up and then he whispers, would you be interested in having a threesome? I was like, yeah, I want to do that someday. And he was like, what about today?
Oh no. Does he bring a life-size doll into this?
I pulled away and was thinking, oh does this guy have a partner who's about to come in and try to join and or kill me? I asked, what do you mean? And he said, I have someone here who would like to play with us. He gets really jealous if I don't let him.
It's a human-sized doll. It's a human-sized doll. I don't like where this is going.
So on one hand, I'm thinking, great, a jealous boyfriend is hiding somewhere in this weird-ass apartment. But on the other hand, I was like, maybe he's also hot? So I say, okay, can I meet him? He grins at me again and leaves the room. All right. I mean, leaving the room is your first. He's about to bring.
Yeah.
This is not a human.
I want to know, like, does he walk up with it, like he's holding the doll, or is the doll like on a little like Segway scooter kind of, and just like rolls in?
He's a jigsaw.
Yeah. Want to play a game?
So I'm anxiously waiting in this weird room and wondering what the hell is about to happen when the guy comes back and says, "I want you to meet Greg."
That's such like a normal name, too.
Exactly. And he pulls out a ventriloquist dummy.
Okay, this is worse than I thought. I was thinking it was going to be like
a sex doll.
Yeah.
A normal thing.
Something that you could have fun with if you really wanted.
Yeah.
But a ventriloquist dummy, it's
well,
like...
They do have a little mouth.
I know, but it's like your hand's already,
A lot of holes to play with.
No.
Like one of those creepy ones from the 1920s. I don't know. It sounds like all of these dolls were creepy and old.
Yeah. I mean, the only time, when I ever think of dolls or ventriloquist dummies, I always think of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I always think it's like, this one's gonna kill me.
Yeah. This guy was into that. I just stared at him and was like, what do you mean? He goes, Greg told me he thinks you're really sexy and he wants to play with us. I don't like that. Again, the name Greg, I don't know. Nothing wrong with it for a human. I just don't like it for a doll for some reason.
I'm sure Greg in the comments also doesn't like the fact, unless this is Greg the dummy that's typing.
Maybe. So I'm like, Greg told you that? And then he has Greg say, yeah, Ben, you're so hot, in this weird dirty talk baby voice. I was like, wait, are you joking right now? He says, why would I be joking? I say, because you're asking me to have a threesome with a ventriloquist dummy? And he was like, this is Greg and he wants to be our third. Why are you being so weird about it?
Why are you being so weird about it? Me? What are you talking about?
I don't know why you think you could just like spring this on a random hookup.
Yeah. I mean, I can also just imagine what the headline would be. It's like, man slaughtered in home full of dolls.
Yeah.
By dummy. You know?
You let somebody know about this up front. This happens in the messaging.
You're like, hey,
you don't spring this
going
on
home with the guy, find my friends.
Yeah. So I'm processing all of this, especially him saying our third, like he was was he in a relationship with this doll?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And then he starts kissing the thing, like actually making out with it.
I just want to know, like, is this like a wooden doll?
Really
is
weird.
it a porcelain doll? Like, what kind of doll is this?
Ventriloquist.
I guess wooden? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have... Who knows, dude? I'm not into dolls.
I don't like this.
I'm not into dummies, dummy.
He brings it over to the bed and is like, it's your turn.
This is like this is...
I'm like, I'm good. At this point, he starts getting pouty. He's like...
The doll? The dummy or him?
I think the guy, but probably both. He's like, I thought you'd be into this. You seemed cool. First of all, I am cool. Yeah, Ben, know your worth. I'm totally open to exploring people's fetishes, but this was randomly sprung on me with no warning. Then he starts having this doll talk to me and say things like, come on, I know you want to. I'm really good in bed. Just do it. Come on. I think you're so sexy. That's not going to help your case. I don't know. I was so creeped out and finally just gathered my things and decided to leave. As I'm leaving, the guy gets really mad and is like, whatever, you aren't good enough for us anyway.
I guess my biggest question on this whole thing is, was he good at being a ventriloquist or was he bad? Like,
that's the most important thing, because if he was good at it, then you would consider it.
Right, but is he moving his mouth while the dummy's moving the mouth?
You're so sexy. I have no idea what happened to Creepy Doll Man, but I hope him and Greg are happy together. Probably are.
Married and they have 40 dolls.
Yeah, that's super weird. And if you're into that, that's fine. But tell people ahead of time.
Yeah. Little heads up,
Little heads up.
Set the expectation.
Mm-hmm. Our next story is from Thomas, and it's what life experience drastically changed your thinking on something, from the original deck. My first and only drunken one-night stand was such a disaster, I vowed to never have one again.
We're off to a great start.
Great start. When I was 21, my girlfriend of 6 years broke up with me. We were high school sweethearts, and I know those typically don't last, but I really thought she was the one. Naturally, I was devastated. Since we got together so young, she was the only person I had ever been with. She was literally my first kiss. I was so inexperienced and scared. My friends, on the other hand, were stoked. I guess they hadn't liked her that much, but no one ever told me that. Classic. They were also all all very single and all about hookup culture. I'd be lying if I said some of their crazy stories weren't intriguing to me. So I guess I found a silver lining in knowing that I'd finally get to experience what all the fuss was about. A few days after the breakup, they were like, bro, it's time to get out there, which is kind of crazy. I was still so heartbroken, but I was also an idiot 21-year-old, so I agreed. We were all horny and stupid when we were in our 20s.
You know, yeah, it's just...
Yeah, a couple
It's just a way
days
of
for a
life.
6-year relationship, that's destructive.
But, hey, your bros got your back.
Your bros got your back. That night, we went out to a bar, and my friends are all buying me shots, which I rarely ever did, but heartbreak, you know? Then one of them pulls over this other girl and is like, I want to introduce you to my friend. He's never had a one-night stand before. I was like, what the dude, why are you telling her that? But to my complete shock, she thought this was adorable.
Yeah, you know, it works, I guess.
That's one way to do it.
That's hookup culture, baby.
Yeah, that's college.
Yeah.
So we started talking to each other, and she's dancing with me, and once the bar was closing, she was like, want to go back to your place? I was like, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening to me. I lived in an apartment kind of near the bar, so we started walking back, and on the way, passed by this pizza place that was open. She starts saying how she's so hungry and let's get a slice of pizza first. I want to make her happy, so I'm like, oh yeah, pizza, let's do it. Fun fact, I am extremely lactose intolerant, but I didn't want to be a loser and say, no, I can't eat pizza, or be like, hold on, let me find some Lactaid first. So I just housed a big slice of cheese pizza and hoped it wouldn't come back to haunt me. We all know where
This is gonna end pretty
going.
badly.
We get back to my place after eating, and I offer her some beer. She starts kissing me instead. Again, I'd only ever kissed one other person before. I was terrified, but also really excited. As we're making out, things start to feel not great.
Rumble in my tumble in my tummy.
I was, of course, very drunk and, again, extremely lactose intolerant. My stomach was having none of this, but I was so nervous and didn't want to screw this up, so I just tried to ignore it. Also, you're so nervous.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Sweaty,
happening.
gonna poop your pants, you're
Oh,
drunk.
no.
Ugh, you know, again,
Yeah.
could happen. Both things could happen.
We go to my room. I'll leave out the details, but one thing led to another, and I was officially having my first one-night stand. Hell yeah.
Way to go, dude.
This should have been so cool, but my stomach was trying to turn itself inside out at the same time. I'm desperately trying to hold it all in, trying to make sure she's having a good time, trying to make sure I'm having a good time, when all of a sudden, it just happened. It all came out, and I mean all, from both ends. There was literally no stopping it.
Called it. Oh, what a beautiful
I'm so
mix.
Sorry. Oh God. What
I
a
mean, hopefully he
nightmare.
never sees this or never saw this girl ever again.
Yeah, probably not.
But also, if I ever did that, I'd be like, and I'm moving to Alaska.
yeah, you leave the country. She starts screaming and jumps out of my bed. Yeah.
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 I would. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. I start crying that I'm so sorry in between pukes. She's putting her clothes on and running out the door. I was like, oh my God, please let this be a dream. It wasn't. It was a real life nightmare. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Apologizing in between pukes. Like, sorry.
I'm so sorry. The next morning, I felt horrible for so many reasons and decided that I would never have a drunken hookup again. It was too embarrassing, too awkward. Even if I hadn't had a dairy-induced emergency, I don't think I would have felt great about it afterwards. If you're into hookup culture, good for you. But that night sealed the deal for me. I'm a relationship guy who needs to be with a woman I can confidently take my Lactaid with.
I was kind of hoping at the end, he's like, so when I woke up in the morning, I decided to go find her and apologize.
And now we're married.
And now we're married.
Yeah, that would have been a happy ending, but
Yeah.
maybe this was a fine ending as well.
Yeah. If I was,
Never.
you know, the other person receiving that
Oh, God.
experience, I would be like, I need therapy. I need to take a break. I need to just get off the grid.
Yeah.
You know?
Both of you need to leave the country.
Yeah.
Our next story is from Megan answering what went wrong for you most recently from our venting edition. So this one's new. My hookup with my online crush was ruined by chemical burns. That's no good. I started flirting with this guy Alex on Instagram a few months ago. I wasn't sure if we'd ever get to meet in person since I live in Phoenix and he lives in Seattle, but he ended up having some work travel to Phoenix, so we made plans to get together. I got a new outfit, spent a day at the salon, getting a blowout, waxing, the works. I had been in the midst of a long dry spell dating-wise, and I was determined to have some fun with him. I suggested he come over to my place and we could make dinner together. We both enjoy cooking, and I wanted him at my place anyway so we could hook up. Smart.
Keep it all in the same location.
Yeah. The evening started off great. We made a stir fry and polished off a bottle of wine. The conversation was flirty and fun, just like it had been online. So after dinner, we started making out. I invited him back to my bedroom. Clothes came off. The dirty talk was steamy. We were both having an amazing time. Things went off the rails when he got into my panties. He started petting, and things went from oh yes to oh no, what the in just a few seconds. My lady parts were suddenly painfully on fire. Oh no. I was like, stop, something is wrong. Gabe's still confused. I know what's happening. We'll get to it.
I maybe have an idea.
He looked alarmed and we turned on the lights. We both look at each other and we were like, the jalapenos.
Oh. Oh. Spicy fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't put those.
I have not been there, and it sounds terrible.
Well,
the closest I've been to that is like having hot
on the
sauce.
Receiving end.
No, like you got like eating wings or something. Yeah.
While making dinner earlier, we'd cut up some peppers, and I guess a bit of the residue was still on his fingers. We didn't think the peppers were that hot when we cooked or ate them, but apparently my nether regions did not agree. We dashed into the bathroom and turned on the tub to fill it with cool water, and I hopped in. The whole time, he's just like, I am so sorry. I spent the next hour in the tub trying to soothe my chemical burns instead of getting frisky with my date. I know we could have tried again after the burning subsided, but I wasn't going to chance letting his fire fingers anywhere near my muff again that night. That's a sentence right there.
Here I was thinking I was totally cool to keep using my fingers for stuff.
Yeah, here I was thinking I could just stick my fingers anywhere.
Well, yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. All right. So be careful when cooking with hot peppers.
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
Sure. Some people might be.
Some people might like it. Not saying I do.
Not saying I do, but maybe. Our final story comes from Caitlin, and she was responding to what's the most regrettable decision you've ever made from the venting edition. Oh, man. Okay. I decided not to do anything about a sexual harasser at work when I was younger. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The summer between my junior and senior year of college, my uncle got me a decent paying job at his law firm in Atlanta. I grew up in a small town and was going to college in rural upstate New York, so I jumped at the chance to spend a summer in the city with free rent. I didn't know anyone in Atlanta other than my aunt and uncle, so I became friendly with some of the women at work. We would often go to happy hour and run into people we knew from the office since everyone went to the same few places. We kept running into this young male lawyer, Jake, who was always flirting with me. I thought Jake was decent looking and charming, but I was going back to school soon and didn't really want to get involved with anyone over the summer. The flirtation kept going, and after weeks of chatting, I ended up going back to his apartment with him one night. I'd been telling Jake as we'd been getting to know each other that I wasn't looking for a relationship and that I was going back to school, and he would say stuff like, "Oh, you might change your mind if you find Mr. Right," and they have planes between Atlanta and Syracuse. I took it as joking/flirting and didn't see it for the red flag that it was. Huge mistake.
Sounds like he's gonna be like a very
aggressive?
Yeah. Stalker, very dominant.
Yeah. Anyway, we go up to his apartment and we are making out, and he's all, "I really like you and I could see a future with you." You don't say that.
Yeah, very early on.
I don't know about that. And I said, I need you to hear me when I tell you I do not want a relationship right now. This is fun, but it's not going anywhere. If that isn't okay with you, we shouldn't do this. He starts arguing about how we could stay in touch and see where things go, and he could come see me at school. All of this caused me to rapidly lose the mood. Yeah, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah. Also, the discussion of like, hey, what's going to happen with us? I feel like that is a question, or that is a conversation to like at the end of the summer, like maybe things change, maybe like, oh man, this got serious and I actually do have feelings for you. Not the first hookup to be like, I imagine, yeah, I know.
That's
it's like
a dinner conversation.
It's like, look, I see us with 2.4 kids, a 4-bedroom home, red door, swing set in the front, a golden retriever dog, white picket fence. It's like, all right, chill, guy.
Yeah, we're in the middle of hooking up.
We barely
kissed.
This is
what gets him going.
Yeah.
At one point, he said, I don't even understand how you can say you won't consider a relationship. Women are biologically wired to want relationships if they sleep with a man. Bruh. That was it. I told him, I am gonna go. Sorry this didn't work out. Also, again, why are you having this conversation in the middle of...
It's like in between, it's like, I could tell...
I know. I'm like, sure at this
you're
point
biologically wired to have my babies.
I'm imagining they're just in the middle.
Yeah. Guys, you need to just enjoy the moment for what it is. Don't force it.
Also, women aren't biologically wired to want relationships.
Yeah.
So...
Don't listen to Andrew Tate.
In response, he burst into tears. I knew I shouldn't have, but I felt bad, so I tried to console him by telling him it really wasn't personal. I told him I had been in a relationship all through high school and most of college with the same person, and I needed some time to myself. Even as I was doing it, I could see he wasn't really listening to me. He still wanted to debate everything I said, and now he was crying while doing it. Don't debate people when they tell you you aren't going to change someone. Like, take people's words at face value.
Also, what a beta male, dude. Yeah, dude, like, if you're trying to... Like, that's not how you show your sensitive side.
No. If somebody's saying they're not interested, believe them.
No means no.
I told him I had to get home and ducked out. I felt bad about it at first, but after stewing on it overnight, I got pissed at him. I felt like I had communicated my intentions and he didn't want to listen. You did. Mm-hmm. I felt like he was being emotionally manipulative and sexist. He was. If he didn't want a casual hookup, that's fine, but that doesn't mean I have to change what I want for him. I would rather just skip the hookup if we aren't on the same page. I was prepared to pretend it never happened at work on Monday, but as soon as I saw one of my friends at the office, she whispered hissed at me that Jake told a bunch of people I slept with him.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God, Jake. Also, you're just inviting her to tell everyone that you
cry like a little
bitch. Why would you tell everyone that?
Yeah.
So definitely
when the truth comes out, you're going to look like a sad, pathetic, insecure boy.
And also just like controlling and weird, and you don't take no for an answer, and not good. I was so pissed. I told her that is not what happened. I said he is delusional. I went to his place to hook up, but he whined at me about being my boyfriend, and when I said no, he cried like a fucking baby until I gave up and went home. My friend laughed and rolled her eyes and goes, of course, like she's not even surprised. I considered filing a complaint with the law firm, but I also didn't want to create problems for my uncle who'd done me a favor. I know Jake's behavior was fault, but I also don't know that conservative Southern old men, my uncle's bosses, would have seen it that way. I decided to just stay mum and avoid Jake for the next couple of weeks since I was about to go back to school. I skipped going out with my friends after work the rest of the summer and managed to avoid him until I went back to school. I wish I could have just ratted him out at work and created an HR paper trail, because I am sure he will do this to other women. I've always felt conflicted about that decision. I get not wanting to deal with it, but let us know in the comments what you would have done in Caitlin's position, because I definitely get not wanting to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the reasoning of like, you're in an environment that would not probably play to your side.
Yeah.
And it would be like, oh,
but
well.
also, people shouldn't get away with bad behavior.
Yeah,
and also, it really sucks that they had to be in this situation. It all sucks.
And I mean, it's terrible that she had to be like, oh, well, it'll be look bad for my uncle, and we're in the South, and this and that. And it's like,
nothing will happen anyway.
Yeah.
So
this guy's going to do it again. He probably did do it again. Karma's going to catch up, and he's going to do it to the wrong person. And he's going to pay for it.
I hope
Rightfully so.
I don't know if that happens to these people.
Not all the
Hopefully.
time, but I think it happens. And there are some times when I go, you know what? I could see that happening. And for this guy, I see karma coming back to get him.
That's it for Delve Deck Stories. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, you can like, subscribe, check out some of our other videos. And if you have a crazy story, you can go to share.delvedeck.com and maybe we'll read it on an episode.